Hi everybody, my name is Peyman and I'm preparing a book report for this book. It's called the Treaty of Versailles and Remaking of the World from 1919 to 2019. It's an interesting book. I highly recommend it that you buy this book and read it. What the author is trying to assert that when the Treaty of Versailles was signed, it had a ripple effect all the way to 2019. So, is it true what the author says? That's a question for the what when I'm reading this book. Is the author making assertion, and is there a merit for what they are saying? So I'm reading it, and well, it's a fact that World War One happened, and it caused European countries to clash with one another. The author was really good. It says that Germany was competing over natural resources. Industrial revolution is taking place. So France, Britain, all these countries are clashing with one another. Russia is in the middle of it too. But what is so interesting, the Bolshevik revolution is happening, and that caused anxiety in Europe because other countries don't want to become communist. European countries do not want to become communist because what happens, the tradition will collapse. The traditional society, traditional value is about to collapse, and new world order will appear. And obviously they don't know what this new world order would look like. So the Western countries, particularly Britain, was trying to stop communism in Russia, but couldn't. So for fact we know Germany lost the war. And they are coming and they're signing a treaty, the Treaty of Versailles. This treaty is designed particularly by France to humiliate Germany by means of economy. And they did it. France did it. However, Britain, such as famous economist John Maynard, I apologize for mispronouncing this person's name, didn't like it because the economic punishment was for Germany to pay back $33 billion. Well, by World War One standard, $30 billion was significant amount of money. Maybe with today's standard, $33 billion is significant amount of money, but it's not really that big of a deal. However, it caused Germany to have hyperinflation, and it caused Hitler to rise, whose ideology was Aryan superiority, we are destined to dominate the world. So all these ideas are evolving around us. As I have, politics is like a living organism. It is always growing and expanding. And sometimes it's not a healthy organism, it is like a counterproductive organism. And that's what Nazi ideology is all about. It's not a healthy organism. And World War II breaks out. World War II breaks out. Here we have Russia, we have France, we have Germany, and Britain, the United States. It creates allies. And Germany it creates ally with Japan. Two unlikely nation, really, to think about it. So once Germany defeated in World War II, the world divides in two spheres, East and West. The two powers, Russia and the United States, did not clash with one another. It created an arm race. That's why they call it Cold War. So the Soviet Union collapsed. After that, it caused other ripple effect. It created the nations to go through civil wars and ended really in that era. But the author says, for example, Iran and Iraq war, you just name it, the whole world history is talking about. Like even historically inaccurate about Iran. It says Reza Shah the Great ascended the peacock throne by means of 1953 coup. I'm like, that didn't happen. It's like that's a historical inaccurate information is providing. So it's mixing names and doesn't know what he's talking about really, and that's the time I kind of it's not historically accurate, like doesn't make sense. So but it also talk about the League of Nations. That's very important, the League of Nations, because after World War One, the world leaders trying to have an organization, they call it the League of Nations. And this League of Nations intended to prevent the war, another global war. But it failed. World War II happened. So they are disbanding the League of Nations because they say it's not working. And they go at war against each other. And we're coming forward throughout the history. It's very ugly history, really, when I'm looking back. But I don't understand. Saddam Hussein attacked Kuwait has nothing to do with the Treaty of Versailles. To have ISIS in the Middle East has nothing to do with the Treaty of Versailles. Like, how do I want me to incorporate this global affairs to the Treaty of Versailles? The Treaty of Versailles was designed to humiliate German people, and that backfired at the France, Britain. Okay, that's accurate. Like it caused World War II, and after World War II, we see that the world is divided. I would say it stops over there after like cause World War II. So because there are other factors that are playing. Germany is no longer at the picture to have a discussion about how the war should be running. Okay, not directly or indirectly, Germany is really focused in industries, in the industrial industries, focus create making cars. Like for example, those manufacturers that those factories they were manufacturing tanks. Porsche was making tanks. Now it's trying to make a sport car. Germany was focused on that one rather than building war machines. So their war machines really slowed down because they couldn't build it because after World War II they said we don't want to go to the war anymore. So it's a really good book to read, but at the same time you need to think critically what the author is trying to say. That's why I gave it 4 stars to this book, because I see it's not really making a connection. It's not making a connection. Historically about Iran is inaccurate. So that's why I gave it 4 stars. If you want to read, to know more about this book, you may go to the writing section that I have, read it over there and say, okay, that's what you have written, and you may want to contribute to my thought. I'm looking forward to hear from you. Thank you.